Bus fare and taxi fare to go up again. This is Undiluted News. Mikey Bones reporting. Transport Minister Darrell Vaz said he is in receipt of a report from the Public Passenger Vehicle Steering Committee, which has been deliberating on fare adjustment for the transport sector. Vaz made a disclosure during a post-cabinet press briefing yesterday morning at Jamaica House. He said the report will be discussed immediately and brought to cabinet in short order once reviewed. Egerton Newman, president of the Transport Operations Development Sustainable Services, has said that transport operators are expecting an announcement by the government of a fare increase before the end of this month. Meanwhile, the Rastafarian community is furthering calls for the establishment of a written national policy which includes the free display of locks in the workplace. This comes after the Ministry of Education announced that Rastafarian children will no longer be required to wear tam or head coverings in school in an effort to end discrimination against the group. The policy is pending implementation in schools. Pamela Williams, a member of the Rastafari Coral Gardens Benevolent Society, says while Rastafarians welcome the move, the government must go a step further and commit to an overhaul of existing policy procedures. She says too often workers are required to conform to repressive corporate grooming policies. A man who was wanted by the St. Mary police was captured Wednesday morning in a targeted operation in Gale. The police said that Kurt Griffiths is a suspect in a case of wounding with intent which was committed in Onoto Bay. Deputy Superintendent Kevin Francis, acting head of the St. Mary Police Division, said Griffiths was located with the assistance of citizens. He said the operation was a win not just for the police but for citizens as it bolsters the relationship and shows that the police and citizens can work together to achieve these kinds of successes. DSP Francis urged other persons on the wanted list to turn themselves in, warning that the police will be relentless in their approach to finding them. Two men are in custody after they reportedly attempted to rob a farmer in Lewistor, St. Mary on Tuesday. One of the suspects is being treated in a hospital after he was shot by a licensed firearm holder during the incident. A 9mm pistol was also recovered and handed over to the police. According to the police report, a 72-year-old farmer carried out a transaction at a bank in Port Maria and returned home. On exiting his vehicle, he observed two men running towards him. The complainant did not recognize the men and ran to his house where he barricaded himself inside. The men then attempted to force their way into the house but fled when the farmer discharged his licensed firearm through a window. Another licensed firearm holder who was nearby was forced to discharge his weapon at the suspect after one opened gunfire at him as they fled the scene. As a result, one of the suspects was shot. A firearm which fell from his van was also retrieved. The other gunman who left the scene returned pretending that he was a bystander, but he was recognized and pointed out as the second suspect. The injured gunman was then taken to a medical facility while his crony was taken into police custody. Members of the police and military are now maintaining a strong presence in the troubled community of Waterloo in Spanish Town, St. Catherine, which has been the scene of deadly violence and arson attacks over the last few weeks. A family of three, including a 16-year-old student, was killed on Tuesday, which includes a mother, a father, and a child. During a major operation on Wednesday in pursuit of criminal elements, members of the security forces engaged a group of gunmen in a reported gun battle. One man was fatally shot and three others captured. Two illegal guns were also seized. The police said that the man who was killed was among the 7 listed as persons of interest in this same triple killing. He is identified only by his alias Gaza or Gaza Man. His brother is also among the 3 men taken into custody during yesterday's operation. On to sports, French President Emmanuel Macron insisted yesterday that the Russian flag cannot be at the Paris Olympic Games at a time when Russia is committing war crimes. Quiz on the possible presence of Russian athletes in Paris competing as neutrals, Macron added, "I hope that this is a decision of conscience in the Olympic world. It is not the host state which must decide what the International Olympic Committee should do." Athletes from Russia and Belarus have faced sanctions from a multitude of sports since Russia invaded Ukraine in February of 2022. And despite the ongoing war, the IOC has recommended allowing athletes from Russia and Belarus to compete as individual neutrals in international competitions. But there cannot be the Russian flag at the Paris Games, Macron added in his interview with reporters. Natasha Morrison set a meet record in the women's 100 meters at the 59th Palio Città della Corsia in Italia World Athletics Continental Tour on Wednesday as she won back-to-back races. Oblique Seville was also a winner, as well as quarter miler Rashid McDonald and a triple jumper Shanika Ricketts, while Amoy Brown also produced a podium finish in the 100 meters hurdle. Fresh off her win in Padova on Sunday, Morrison clocked 11 seconds to win and broke the previous record of 11.02 seconds, which was set in 2016 by Christiana Williams. American Tanisha Terry was second in 11.06 seconds, and Gambia's Gina Bass third with 11.08, with Jamaican Brianna Williams finishing fifth with 11.22 seconds. Meanwhile, in the men's race, Seville pulled away from a good field to win in 10 seconds flat, beating Kenya's Ferdinand Omayala 10.15 seconds, with France's Mahamadou Fali taking third with 10.22 seconds. Sunshine Girl Latanya Wilson and her family were all smiles as they received the keys to their new home from Sport Minister Olivia Babsy-Grange yesterday after their house was destroyed by fire 2 weeks ago. Wilson was one of several victims who reside on Rum Lane in Kingston, whose house went up in flames in an early morning blaze on August 24th. And it is suspected that the fire was the work of arsonists. A total of 7 families, including adults and children amounting to 30, were left homeless as a result of this fire. And of course, you know that anytime gunmen are invading certain communities, what they do is they burn down people's house, and as a result, they burn down all these people's house and left them homeless. And if you ever miss the news on this radio station, please go to YouTube and type in Jamaican Undiluted News. Listen, like, share, and subscribe to keep it going. That's news and sports on your favorite radio station. My name is Mikey Bones. I gone.